All right, so buckle up because we're diving headfirst into the deep end of the internet today. And trust me, this story is, well, it's one for the books.
Oh yeah, this is a wild one.
We're talking about diehard football fans online begging and enough drama to make a soap opera blush.
It really makes you think about how the internet changes things, doesn't it? Like how we present ourselves online versus who we really are.
Totally. And in this case, the star of the show is a guy who called himself Mike Mosh. He was part of this group, the Cowboys Nation Syndicate, basically a pack of hardcore Dallas Cowboys fans who found each other online back in 2006.
It's fascinating how these online communities form, isn't it? People from all over with this shared passion coming together in the digital world.
Absolutely. And Mike Mosh, he was known for his, let's just say, colorful commentary, especially when it came to rival teams. He definitely wasn't afraid to stir the pot online.
So from what I gathered, this Cowboys Nation Syndicate, they were mostly active in online forums and social media groups dedicated to, all things NFL.
Right. They spent a lot of time debating, shall we say, with fans of other teams. But here's where things get really interesting. Mike Mosh, he figured out a way to turn his online fame into actual money.
Yeah, the infamous e-begging stream.
You got it. He started doing these live streams on YouTube playing his guitar and, well, continuing his trademark trash talk. But he also started asking viewers for donations.
It's a whole phenomenon, isn't it? This idea of making money just by being yourself online. I mean, some people are making a living doing this.
It's wild. And get this, he would actually charge viewers $10 to watch him take a shot of liquor. $10. Would you pay for that?
I don't know about that. It's like you're paying for the illusion of hanging out with this person. It's a strange kind of parasocial relationship you develop with these online personalities.
It really is. And hold on tight because the story gets even crazier when a woman named Marisa enters the picture. Marisa was a married woman from Dallas, and somehow she became completely smitten with Mike Mosh.
Oh, boy. This is where the online world collides with real life and things tend to get messy.
You can say that, again, Marisa was so infatuated with this guy that she actually flew him out to Dallas to meet her. And she paid for the entire trip herself.
It really highlights the risks involved with online relationships, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You never truly know who's on the other side of the screen.
Absolutely. So Mike Mosh flies to Dallas, meets up with Marisa, and they end up back at her house one night. His friend Duke, another Cowboys fan, was there too. And everything seems to be going smoothly until...
Oh, this can't be good.
You guessed it. Marisa's husband comes home unexpectedly and finds Mike Mosh at his house. Talk about a recipe for disaster.
I bet that was an awkward moment.
Oh, yeah. The husband was furious, apparently stormed in with a baseball bat ready to confront Mike Mosh. Can you imagine the scene?
It's a stark reminder that actions have consequences no matter where they take place online or in person.
No kidding. Well, Mike Mosh, realizing he was way over his head, did what any sane person would do. He ran for his life.
Leaving poor Duke to deal with the fallout.
Poor Duke caught in the crossfire. Right. So the next day, Mike Mosh hightails it back to Florida. But before he leaves, Marisa gives him a parting gift. That was, well, let's just say it was unique.
I'm intrigued.
She gave him a rather large adult toy.
That's definitely not your average souvenir.
Nope. Their little rendezvous in Dallas did not go as planned. But wait, there's more. Back in Florida, Mike Mosh stumbles across some videos of Marisa participating in YouTube panel discussions with other men.
Ouch. I bet that didn't sit well with him.
Not at all. He was outraged and decided to get his revenge by flagging down Marisa's streams, basically reporting them and trying to get them taken down. The irony, right, this is the guy who was asking people for money online.
It's the hypocrisy for me. Some people have a very flexible sense of morality when it comes to the internet.
It's unbelievable. But Marisa, she wasn't about to back down. She decided to fight fire with fire, and her method of retaliation was even more shocking.
That was good.
She went public with some very personal details about their encounter in Dallas, implying that things weren't exactly consensual.
Wow, that's taking it to a whole new level. It really makes you think about consent and how easy it is to misrepresent yourself online.
It's a tangled web, for sure. And this whole saga is a perfect example of the dark side of internet fame and how complicated online relationships can become. I mean, this whole Mike Mokic and Marisa thing, it really shows you just how important it is to be careful online. You can't always believe what you see.
Right, it's like a hall of mirrors sometimes. You never really know who's being genuine and who's putting on an act.
And they were both so good at playing the victim, like they were trying to make themselves look good, even if it meant twisting the truth or, throwing other people under the bus.
Yeah, it's a classic case of manipulation. You see it all the time online. People trying to control the narrative and shape how others perceive them.
Totally. And it makes you think about these big platforms like YouTube, right? Like, do they have a responsibility to step in and do something about this kind of behavior?
It's a tough question, isn't it? On one hand, they want to protect their users and prevent exploitation. But then you have the whole debate about censorship and free speech. It's a fine line they have to walk.
For sure. And what about Duke? Just an innocent bystander caught in the middle of this whole mess.
Yeah, it's easy to forget that there are real-life consequences to online actions. It's not just a game.
Exactly. It's a reminder that we all need to be more aware of online safety and set healthy boundaries in the digital world.
Absolutely. And, it also makes you wonder about Mike Mosh's motivations. Was he really struggling financially? Or was the whole e-begging thing just a way to take advantage of his followers?
It's hard to say for sure, but the fact that he was charging people to watch him drink definitely raises some red flags. Like, maybe it wasn't all about genuine need. Maybe there was a bit of opportunism there, too.
Right. It blurs the lines a bit, doesn't it, between genuine need and calculated performance.
It totally does. And then there's Marissa. What was it about Mike Mosh that she found so appealing? Was there a real connection there, or was she looking for something else entirely?
It's possible she was drawn to the attention, the notoriety. Or maybe she was looking for some kind of escape from her own life. It's a good reminder that people get involved in online relationships for all sorts of reasons.
Some healthier than others, I guess.
That's for sure. So it's a good lesson for all of us to be cautious about online infatuation and to protect ourselves, both emotionally and physically, in the digital world.
This whole thing makes you wonder, how do we avoid these kinds of situations? How do we navigate the internet without falling prey to scams and schemes and, all the drama?
It's the million-dollar question, isn't it? I think it starts with awareness. We have to be more critical of what we see online, question people's motives, and learn to recognize those red flags.
So skepticism is key.
Absolutely. And we also need to hold people accountable, both platforms and individuals, for their actions online.
So it's about being savvy, being skeptical, and putting your own safety and well-being first in the digital world.
Exactly. The internet is an amazing tool, but
Yeah.
like any tool, it can be used for good or bad. It's up to us to use it wisely.
It's interesting. As we've been talking about Mike Marsh, it struck me how the internet seems to amplify certain personality types.
That's a really good point. It's like the online environment acts as a catalyst, speeding up the development of certain traits and behaviors.
Yeah, like in his case, the trash talking, the attention seeking, it all seemed to get supercharged once he was online.
Right. It's like the internet gives people a platform to create and project these larger-than-life personas, and sometimes it's hard to tell where the performance ends and the real person begins.
It's kind of crazy when you think about it, how this whole Mike Mosh's story really shows the dark side of internet fame.
Yeah, it's like there's this hidden cost to it all, isn't there? The pressure to always be on, to constantly entertain and seek validation from strangers.
Well said. So, on that note, I think it's time to wrap up this deep dive. Remember, the internet is constantly changing. So stay curious, stay informed, and most importantly, stay true to yourself.
And never forget the value of real-life connections and finding fulfillment beyond the screen.
Those are some wise words to live by, both online and offline. Until next time, stay safe and keep exploring.